Welcome to Empowered by Iron, hosted by Dr. Kristin Lander from Fiercely Fueled Nutrition Coaching and Mary Morton from Grad Gains, the online resource for your fitness needs. Together, we are empowered by iron.
Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about that freak out moment when you wake up and all of a sudden you're 2 or 5 pounds over the weight you were the day before. And you freak out and you panic and you start thinking you need to starve yourself and your nutrition plan is all screwed up. We're here to tell you, you need to calm down. You didn't actually gain 2 pounds overnight, and today Kristin is going to tell you guys a little bit about the science behind why you're up 2 pounds and what you can do, especially if you're an athlete getting ready for a meet, how you can avoid doing that. So Kristin, take it away.
So just want to be clear that we are using gaining weight as the example here, but the same can be applied to if you wake up and you're like 2 pounds lower than you were the day before, which is particularly frustrating for athletes that are trying to gain muscle. So we're using the weight gain as an example, but it can totally be applied to if you're weighing under. All right, so you wake up, you're 2 pounds heavier than the day you were before. I have clients that will email me, text me, completely panic and freak out. Like, I don't know what happened. I did everything you told me to do, and I gained 2 pounds overnight. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's look at your food log. And then I'll look through it, and I'm like, where's those 7,000 calories? And they're like, what? I didn't eat an extra 7,000 calories. What are you talking about? So roughly 3,500 calories is what it takes to gain a pound.
Right. So if you're 7,000 calories is 2 pounds.
Yeah. So if you woke up 2 pounds heavier and it's actually like a weight gain, like fat gain, then clearly you ate 7,000 extra calories the day before.
You ate a cake. You ate an entire cake.
Yeah, you ate like 3 days worth of food in one day, which I think even on Thanksgiving probably people don't eat. So you probably didn't really truly gain 2 pounds. Your weight's just fluctuating up and down, which is normal. Because even like a bad snackcident. You guys know what snackcidents are?
So we have this thing Kristin and I say that's called a snackcident, which is when you start snacking and then you have an accident.
It's a snack accident.
You open up the bag of pretzels to have 20 grams and you end up eating all of them.
Yeah, snackcident. So even like a bad snackcident might be like 500 calories. So, okay, so you didn't gain weight. So you all know what we're about to say. Like, you all know what's actually happening, but we're going to break it down for you. Abrupt changes in weight are almost always water weight. Unless you just like ate later in the day. So say you were up really late and you had, you finished out your food at 11 o'clock at night, you might be up the next day, which is just because of digestion. But
right, and that can be saying the opposite way too. If you finish your macros at 4 and you wake up at the same time the next morning at say 7, you'd probably be down a little bit because you stopped earlier. It's just how it works.
Right. So your body weight is like 50% water. So if you're 66 kilos, that's 33 kilos worth of water. It's a really easy variable to go up and down quite a bit because there's so much of it in our body.
Right.
So then let's talk about how we lose and gain fluid. So we lose fluid or water through sweating, obviously. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that. But a lot of people don't know that you actually lose water through breathing. And if you live in a dry climate versus a humid climate, you're going to lose a lot more water through breathing.
In a dry or humid?
In dry.
That makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And also we lose fluid through evaporation through our skin, which is not sweating. It's just evaporating through the skin. And then obviously going to the bathroom. But we gain fluid through drinking, obviously. Eating, which a lot of people don't think about. So if you eat a lot of vegetables, plant material is really high in water. So you're gonna gain water there. And then the thing that I think is really cool is that our body actually makes water through the chemical reaction of breaking down your food, breaking down carbohydrates, fat, and protein. So,
I remember that chemical formula. C6H12O6 plus O2 equals 6H2O plus 6CO2 or something like that.
yeah.
Sugar, oxygen equals water, and carbon dioxide. Sorry, I'm a nerd. PhD right there.
Okay, so moving along, that was impressive.
I'm very sorry. I've learned that since elementary school.
Okay, so like, why is this important? If you're on a nutrition plan and you wake up heavier, knowing these things are going to help you to not panic about it.
Calm down.
Right. But I think for a lot of our listeners, if you compete in a weight class sport, you need to know what sorts of things cause body weight changes that you can avoid freaking out the night before or the morning of a weigh-in. Which brings up another topic that I think all weight class athletes should be weighing themselves every day so that they know how different things affect their bodies.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're not following any sort of nutrition plan, if you're not like counting macros or whatever. Because if you enter into a really heavy training cycle, you might be completely unaware that you're losing weight and you're not eating enough food, which is problematic because you're going to get weaker.
Right.
So
your body's immediately going to start taking away that muscle instead of that fat.
Right. And then also, so you can have accidental weight loss, and then what's also common is the accidental weight gain. So what you don't want to do is go, oh, okay, I've got a meet in like 3 days. I should maybe get on the scale and see where I'm at. And then all of a sudden, like, holy shit, I'm like 5 kilos over. Like, what am I going to do? And
right.
You suddenly have to do like this crazy unnecessary like dehydration and then perform like crap. And all of that could be avoidable if you're just aware of what your body weight typically is and what sorts of things affect it.
Right. I know for me, like, I can eat quinoa, I can eat brown rice, I can eat black rice, I can eat beans, and my body weight kind of stays the same. But the minute I touch white rice or jasmine rice, which I love it, like I could eat it all. But if I just touch it, my body will just suck up the water, and I'll be like 2 or 3 pounds heavier the next morning. But I know that it's because of the rice, and it's not because I had, like you said, 7,000 extra calories.
Right.
I just had rice, and that's just what it does to me.
Right. And so that brings up a really important point that like, so retaining water is what's happening when you eat white rice. White rice is causing you to retain water.
Yes.
And different things affect people differently. Eating high carbs or just eating carbs do cause you to retain water, which isn't bad. Just like drink more water and flush it out and you're fine.
Yeah.
And then we all know that salt causes us to retain water, but there's a lot of hidden sources of salt. It's really easy to have an accident with salt. So if you compete in a weight class sport, listen up, because I'm going to list some foods that are high in salt that a lot of people don't think about. So those things are like smoked and canned meats, and then canned foods in general have a lot of salts just in the canning process. And then marinades and dressings. And I'm not saying to avoid eating these things, but like if you're close to weigh-in, just maybe make your own marinades and dressings, or like don't have canned foods. Cottage cheese is also super high in salt.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that one. Cereals, bread, and baked goods are also pretty high in salt. And then the one that I absolutely hate that no one thinks about is that some poultry processors inject salt into chicken breasts to make them taste better. So just look at the ingredients on the chicken that you buy and make sure that salt's not listed, and you'll be fine. And so to be really clear, I am not saying to avoid with in your diet. We need salt in our diet. It's important.
Yes.
It's a necessary element. But just be careful with it around competition time.
Yeah, just know what your body does and how it reacts. Like if you're in the middle of your weight class and you can afford to gain a couple kilos, whatever. Do what you know your body's going to react to within your weight class. But if you're on the edge, kind of like me, I know coming into my meet, I will not eat salty foods, and I probably won't even eat rice, which breaks my heart, but I will do it.
Yeah, I had a really bad salt accident last year.
A snack-accident?
No, it wasn't a snack. Yeah, I mean, it was like
it wasn't
accident. I don't know.
I don't think we should say that.
So I was cutting weight for meet, and I was traveling. I had to travel a week before my meet for 4 days. And so I had all of my food prepped and with me. I didn't eat anything that wasn't in my cooler or in my food bag. But I had planned to have some beef jerky, and it was, I didn't have time to get this special beef jerky that I normally eat that doesn't have a lot of salt in it. And so I just didn't really think about it. I just grabbed some beef jerky at the grocery store, and I just read the macros on there, and I didn't pay attention to the salt. And then I traveled. I ate 1 bag of beef jerky every day for 4 days. I came home, weighed myself the next day, and I was 5 pounds up. And a week out from a meet, completely panicked. It took me 5 days to lose those 5 pounds, drinking as much weight as I possibly could. And mind you, when I had left to go on my travels, I had not yet made weight. So I was still over, and it was,
So now you're extra
So
over.
now I'm extra over, completely panicked. It caused me a lot of stress. And had I been actually thinking about it and aware of it, I wouldn't have done that. But,
well, now you know, and you probably apply that to your clients too.
I do, and the funny thing is I did know, I just didn't think about it.
Right.
So now I really think about that stuff. Yeah. So,
to recap,
yeah.
Don't freak out. Unless, of course, you did eat 7,000 calories the night before, then you're going to have to take a step back and reevaluate your life. But if it's just a few pounds, don't freak out. Even if you're close to a meet, if you have a coach, talk to them, be honest with them, tell them what you did, tell them what you ate, and they can then help you kind of process what happened and then create a plan that'll help you. If you don't have a coach, just know not to freak out and know how your body responds, and then try to avoid what your body negatively responded to before your meet. If you're not close to a meet, whatever.
Who cares?
Don't freak out about it. It's just a few pounds. If most of the people who are listening to this podcast, I know, just want to get strong and they're strength athletes, don't starve yourself because you're up 2 pounds. It's 2 pounds.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
No big deal. Weight fluctuates. If you don't weigh yourself every day right now, which I know a lot of people don't because weight really doesn't matter. And so if you don't weigh yourself and you don't compete in a weight class sport, I'm not recommending that you now start weighing yourself every day. It does not matter. But for those who do compete in a weight class sport,
or do have a weight goal,
yeah, these sorts of things are important to understand and know, because you need to know when to panic. And you need to know when not to panic.
There's sure a time to panic, but there's...
when you accidentally eat a lot of salt and you almost don't make weight.
Yeah, that's a good time to panic.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, guys, don't freak out, but don't avoid salt. Just be smart about it. See you next time.
If you like what you heard today, please help us connect with other female badasses. We would love if you would leave us a review on iTunes, tell your friends about us, visit our website, which is empoweredbyiron.com. You can find each of us on Instagram. Mary is at MaryMo_92, and Kristin is at Kristin with an I, Lander. Future topics will include nutrition, programming and training, mental health, and just general female badassery. Yeah, so let us know what you want to hear. If you have any input, that'd be awesome. And guys, this is Empowered by Iron. We want it to be a resource and an outlet for women who are finding their confidence, their independence, and their strength through iron. So thank you for listening. Thank you for checking in. And until next time, I'm Mary.
I'm Kristin.
And this is Empowered by Iron.